welcome to episode 262 of The Comic Conspiracy, the podcast where we get to the truth of all those strange, funny book mysteries out there. This week we have absolute proof that the New 52 was an inside job, because DC Universe Rebirth is blowing the doors off of that. So get ready for some truth bombs.
Who are you?
I am your guest host, Ryan Scott.
Guest host? I call it substitute host.
Yeah, that's because that's what I called it before we started recording. You're just copying me.
Yeah, but you like that. You like feeling that power.
Ryan Higgins is gone. He's out eating hamburgers and french fries in France. So he will be back next week.
No, it's pommes frites in France.
Yeah, whatever. It's oh God, that guy.
Yeah, he's eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
In France.
Yeah.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah, Royale with cheese.
French fries and Royale with cheese.
So you're stuck with me this week. Who is with me?
Brock Sager.
Bryce.
Toby.
Jim.
Okay, we have no last names, so you're just going to have to go with that.
Everybody know our last names.
Huh?
Everybody knows our last names.
Oh, what if it's their first episode?
Well, then
They'll be
do
really-
research.
It'll be
If
on the
it's their-
label whenever we post
Then
it.
there's
If
a little
it's-
good job brain going on because they need to do some homework.
If it's their first episode, they'll be really confused, just like they would be if they were if DC Universe Rebirth was their first comic, because it makes
That
no
Ryan
sense.
Scott was a Justin Haywald level segue. that I
See,
would
nobody knows
love-
who that is because this is the Comic Conspiracy.
We have cross-listeners.
So okay, tonight we are doing a special episode on the new comic DC Universe Rebirth, which it's out this week,
By the time you listen to
Wednesday,
it
May
will be for
25th.
sale.
Okay. So
we are doing a midnight release here at the store.
So we're talking about the book. Spoilers, full effect, whole episode. So if you somehow really care about this, spoilers in a comic book, don't listen. Read it first and then come listen. Because I mean,
I like how you're
It's fine, 'cause
totally
they're just-
warning people.
they're just gonna
spoiler alert.
I think you're mistaking this
If
with
you
your own
haven't-
podcast.
If you haven't gone out to your comic book store and
Yeah.
picked this book up already, super spoilers, okay?
yeah, and I mean they're just gonna undo it in 5 years anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
How long did New 52 go on? 5 years?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
2011.
So this
Just
book,
under 5 years.
So this book, I don't want to get too far off into the weeds, but my impression of this book is that it's just an 80-page version of that scene from Batman v Superman where the Flash pops in and is like, blah, 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 and then disappears. That's this book.
I'm in love.
So maybe
I'm in
this
love.
book is explaining what he said in those few seconds in Batman v Superman.
So this book, DC Universe Rebirth, is intended to relaunch DC's comic line, right? I mean, this is their deck for it, right?
Yep.
I'm not mistaken. So, to fix some of the sort of missteps that they have acknowledged happened with New 52, which some people did not take to, and so this book, the book that is intended to relaunch their line, presumably for hoping new audiences who might not be into it, starts with the following note. This tale takes place after Justice League number 50 and Superman number 52, so read those first. Failure right out of the gate. Okay? Don't do that.
Exactly. Don't do that. They should never do that ever. They can't have... This book is fucking 80 pages long.
Having an 80-page, that's fine. That's
They
cool.
can't have 78 pages with 1 or 2 pages of recap of what happened in these terrible other books.
Right. Okay. That's right. I'm glad someone level-headed agrees with me. So
And we're done. Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
So I don't know. How do you guys want to go around and give some impressions? I don't know. Like,
Well,
maybe,
let's get somebody else on the other end of the rainbow. Brock.
I'm already incredibly attracted to the guest host of this, Ryan Higgins. I hope that you fall in love with France and never return. This guy gets it. He understands.
So basically,
and you know what? I love DC Comics.
No,
too.
dude, this is a huge.
So I don't want
huge
anybody to
misnomer
think
for this
that-
podcast that you might not know, since our viewership is a lot of people minus Ryan Scott. But I actually also love DC Comics. Marvel is better, and I make no qualms about that. But I actually love Batman. I love Green Lantern. DC Comics in general, I love. I just think that Marvel's better.
You're
It
wrong.
would be a huge misnomer to think that I hate DC Comics. But this fucking book, woof.
This book was. I thought it was bad.
Ugh.
Nothing happens. That's pretty much the
we'll
plot
get to you,
summary.
Ryan Scott.
Oh, right. Brock, what do you think of of DC Universe Rebirth?
So basically,
New 53.
You had said that New 53. You had said that read Justice League 50 and Superman 52 first.
Yeah, why don't you catch us up on that because I didn't read those.
So Justice League 52 is the end of the Darkseid War, or Justice League 50. Sorry,
They finally got
is-
rid of him, huh?
is the
Sort of.
Only took them like 6
AKA not at
decades.
all.
the end of Justice League 50 basically sets up where some characters are going to be going forth in the Rebirth. So it's going like Lex Luthor is now wearing armor and has changed to Mother Box to say Lex.
So
like the
basically
movies.
nothing's different.
All right. Wait, he's wearing his like green power armor?
Oh,
no, he's wearing
That's-
Superman power armor. He took Superman's logo and he's
So
going to
totally
be
different armor, not
Le-
to be confused with
Lame.
the other armor.
In his world, on his world, does it mean peace?
I thought it was
It's
hope.
But yes.
Whatever.
Yes, that was. Oh yes, this is
Just
so
as-
good.
I'm sure one day it'll mean hope
it-
or peace or whatever it is.
The end,
I
yes,
said.
yeah. So the end of 50 also sets up Jessica Cruz as a Green Lantern. It also gives us a view into where Wonder Woman is going to in with her stories, which is she finds out that she had a twin brother named Jason.
Oh, that's not cliche. All right.
So, what? Go, Bryce.
Just so happy that Ryan Scott is like.
I know you are.
He's like the host he's the host that I need and the host I deserve.
Welcome to the Comics Conspiracy. Let me tell you why this comic is bad.
Bad, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to
so-
anybody who's put off by that.
Reading Justice League 50, basically, it's kind of it's what Johns has been writing, and so leading into Rebirth. Rebirth is just kind of extension of that.
Mm-hmm.
Superman 52. Spoiler: the fall of Superman. Superman dies. Specifically, the New 52 Superman dies. But we are not left without a Superman in this world. We get the wonderful Lois and Clark and Jonathan family unit Superman.
Jonathan's their babby.
Their baby.
Okay.
But that comes from Convergence. So they were pulled out of the time reality something. They were pulled from somewhere and plopped into the New 52 kind of right now. So yes, there are two Lois Lanes currently in the DCU. That's pretty much it. So going into Rebirth, that's what you really get from those books. I didn't really feel it wasn't you necessarily needed it, but it does add a little to it if you do read those.
It does, yeah. That it also explains nothing about anything that happens because Kid Flash is unstuck in time and freaking out the whole time.
Well, I think
Why?
so this then it's narrated by Kid Flash, aka Wally West.
Yeah.
And I'm about to be really racist. The white Wally West.
Oh, that's really racist, Brock. Wow.
Well, there's a bunch of them out there.
There's two.
Jesus.
But
And they're cousins, apparently.
that's why it's so racist.
But it does open up. The book does open up to a very Watchmen panel layout.
Literally a watch.
A watch. And
Yeah.
the watch is from...
And a man is speaking,
Yeah.
so he is a watchman.
So... But it opens up with the Watchmen thing.
A little thick.
Yeah.
And we get it's Wally's going through basically touching or popping in like in Batman v Superman to
Yeah,
all
he's
these
showing
people.
up to a bunch of people and going, and then leaving because
Yeah.
they're like, what?
And it's it's a history of Wally, which I know Bryce hated completely.
Wait, I heard my name. I just woke up from your boring description.
Sorry.
Wow.
FYI, I stay awake for all of yours.
Well, rookie mistake.
So
Yeah.
Look, can I give a real description of this book, or should we wait for you to give a nice description of it?
Well, because you and most of the people are probably going to be bashing the shit out of it, let's just at least get through it first on a positive note.
This is very like the way that he does this, he goes through and meets all these characters, and it's like this sort of whirlwind tour of like the DC universe.
Yeah,
right?
it's
That's
going.
a great way of putting it.
It's
That's
going
the
through.
function.
The only thing I read like 10 spoilers from this beforehand, just to be able to kind of gauge where this was going, and it's basically a checklist of everything that people have been bitching about that DC didn't do with the New 52. So you have, where's Wally West? Well, here's Wally West.
Where's Wally?
Right.
But like, there is a Wally West.
Oh,
He's
was
just to be really racist, black.
He's a different character.
He's a different
It's a different character. It's not the original Wally West.
So hold on. So this Wally West that we see here narrating the story, is this not the Wally West that has been in New 52?
No.
Apparently not.
No.
Okay.
The New 52 Wally West is the one that's...
They get to him at about the 60% mark of the book.
Yeah.
He's one of the dozen people that he meets.
But I mean, this character that we see narrating is not established in New 52.
No, it is the one that everyone wants from
back
pre-New 52.
Okay.
Then, we also... So he runs into... so throughout the thing, he's dropping in on all these people. And he drops in on Batman... And then he drops in on...
Peter Cannon?
Yeah,
right.
with Thunder.
He's got...
so it's the Justice Society is what they're bringing. Like, people will complain that there was no Justice Society.
The Atom, Green Lantern...
And then we pop in with, also with Saturn Girl from Legion. There's a moment with...
Aquaman exists, too.
Well, there's a moment with Aquaman, and the funny thing about the Aquaman jump in is that he's proposing to Mera, which people were for a long time going DC's anti-marriage because they broke up every single marriage in the DC universe. Like, nobody was married in the DC universe in the New 52.
They weren't anti-marriage.
But they were...
They just want to leave things open, and it just made it seem like very negatively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, also Green Lantern, Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Also, they talk about...
I would agree anti-marriage. You don't think they were anti-marriage?
But they were married in the books before.
Yeah, they've been married in the books, but in the New 52, they weren't. They weren't even...
I was talking about the New 52, though.
Green Arrow and Black
Canary. They didn't even know each other in the new one.
That's a good...
That's his point and my point.
Yeah.
That's a good couple to break up, though, because they're always like, will they, won't they, kind of, they've had that kind of...
No. Black Canary and Green Arrow forever together.
But
forever.
They've always had that. It's not like Superman and Lois always
Rogue and
happy
Gambit.
forever. It's like,
No.
Like,
forever.
Should they be together? No. But do you love it when they're together? Yes, you do.
So
they're the ones who fight a lot, is what I'm saying. Green Arrow and Black Canary.
So basically in this...
We don't all have your idyllic relationship, Ryan Scott. Some people have to fight for their marriage.
Oh.
We also get a glimpse of some things that are going on. Pandora is obliterated in this book by something that we don't see. And also we get this mysterious...
And yet somehow familiar.
Exactly. And then we get this weird-ass guy in a green hood.
Yeah, it's Spectre, but more different.
No. It's
Mr. Oz?
Mr. Oz, apparently. But it looks like... Jim will elaborate more on him later because he's the one that came up with it. And then they also go into... there's a scene with Batman in the Batcave towards the end where he chips out a Watchman button with the smiley face and the blood splatter on it.
From where?
I have no idea where that showed
So
up.
he's like...
Somewhere in the depths of the Batcave.
Let me just go into like my dark cellar and let me
wait.
crawl out the wall a little
wait
bit.
for my turn. Wait for my turn.
Oh,
That's not
okay.
fair. That's not fair. That's
Sorry,
not fair.
sorry, Bryce.
And then
Hey, man, I'm more senior in this podcast than you. Why do you get to go first?
Then you should go because my vitriol is stronger.
Oh, that's true.
and then the epilogue to the book is basically going back to kind of that Watchmen thing, and we get the Watch again, and it's on Mars, which is, if you don't know much about DC, it's the Watch from Watchmen, especially connected to Dr. Manhattan, and he apparently repairs the Watch, and we're left with it sitting at 12? What time is it? It's like
it is
15 to 12, 15 to midnight or noon. Yeah. It's almost lunchtime, or it's almost time to sell this comic book to people.
Yep. So
I mean, it's a very deep read. It's very
whoa, what?
Despite
You're giving a little too much credit.
Yeah.
despite what
You said the
despite
words,
what you guys,
it is a deep read.
It is a deep read.
This is his.
Oh, sorry.
opinion.
Keep going.
It is a deep read because I mean you have to. There's layers upon layers of what's going on in this book.
Layers upon layers.
Yeah, which can be most Marvel books don't even have one, except for Vision. Vision's great.
You know who would laugh at that? Ryan Higgins.
Everybody listening to this podcast. So overall, for me, I actually enjoyed reading this because it's the first time it's taken me a while to read a book, and I enjoyed what I got out of reading this.
Which is
John's.
What do you get out of it?
I just felt like it was a solid read.
Okay.
Like most of the time, I'm reading my comics. I'm like, oh, I'm already done. Okay.
Well, this is 80 pages.
It is 80 pages.
It took me like an hour to read this.
But yeah.
Hey, wait.
Like,
80
we delayed
pages.
the podcast.
80 pages for $2.99.
We
Yeah,
delayed the
$2.99.
podcast by like an hour just because I couldn't finish this like a normal human being.
We should
funny 'cause
have
it's
had
true.
somebody drop one off to you.
So
Sorry.
is your argument
should
that
have.
this is a more meaty read because it's 80 pages when most books are about 22 to 24 pages?
It didn't feel like a meteor. Meteor.
Yeah, meteor. Not to be confused with meteor.
Yeah. This just feels like it's 5 issues together. Like each chapter felt an issue to me.
Does it,
I think
or does it
that's-
feel like it's 1 or 1.5 issues?
I think it's the idea that they feel like
Yeah.
Yeah,
single
they're
issues, though. Because it's written by 4 different writers.
Is it?
4 chapters.
Yeah, look at the back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not just the Mr.
Or
Jeff Johns?
it's
He's the only
drawn
one.
by different artists. So.
Yeah, it's
That I
totally-
knew.
I'm sorry,
I
did
could
he
tell
write
that.
all of
One
them?
writer, Jeff
Yeah,
Johns.
Jeff
Oh,
Johns
is it
wrote
different
all
artists?
this. It's the
Okay.
different
I'm
artists
sorry.
throughout. Yeah.
Yeah, that I can.
So
Well, you know
Got
why
it.
they did that, right? Is because Mr. Johns wrote the story, and they were like, "When is this coming out?"
oh shit, we need more
Yeah.
artists.
So the chapter thing works really well.
No, the what I equate this to is when I first read Legion of Three Worlds, back when Final Crisis was coming out.
That classic.
That book was insanely just tons of characters, a lot going on, and I kind of felt lost at a point while I was reading it, but I kept plugging through. And the thing is I reread Legion of Three Worlds, and it was just so much more. Once you get more information or more knowledge about what's going on, then these kind of seeds that Johns plants, which he does in all of his books, they come to fruition after a while. It's not like instantaneous. It's not like we're going to get the answers right away. But he's giving us kind of a tease, and I mean, it does read exactly like a checklist of, look, this is what we fucked up on.
Which is
no pun
which is-
intended. This reads like a Rebirth book, though. This is
Yeah,
what,
it reads like a Rebirth book.
So
Yeah,
you're
like-
likening this to Legion of Three Worlds.
Well, this
Just
is
so that I'm
like
understanding.
all of the Rebirths. He kind of looks like what the problem is, and then he tries to fix it with story. It's just this is him doing it on a grander scale, which so it feels a little funny, I guess, because it's not
Yeah.
as personal as his other ones.
Because reading Green Lantern Rebirth,
Like, this
that was
should be-
confusing.
if this was just a Flash book, I think this would be a really good book.
Dude, this is
I could see that.
Like,
I
take
could see
out
that.
the Batman, take out all the rest. I think it would be a better read.
if this had been titled Flash Rebirth, that would have been way
We
more.
already
accurate.
had one of those.
yeah, we did.
Yeah, I know. That's why it wasn't.
Also,
but-
by the way, the fact that like Flash, like, why does it always have to be Flash? Like,
Because
hey,
it's-
remember
that's-
in Crisis
that-
on Infinite Earth when
that's
Flash
John's
was going
boy.
backwards in time and being like, hey, remember
that's
that?
before
Let's-
Johns.
Of
Do
the
that
DC
again.
universe, the Flash is the one who traverses the multiverse more than anybody else.
They could have Superman
Okay.
fly around
That-
the Earth and go back
that
in
is
time,
still
so
my-
Superman could do it too.
But that's kind of my problem. Why is Superman unable to like travel in time? Even though is it and it might be, but is it purely because of the Speed Force? Because Flash and Atom are somehow able, like
I was gonna
Atom
say,
is able to get
Atom?
small enough that he's able to jump into the time stream. Like what the fuck? And then like Flash it's been this way for decades that he's able to be fast enough, or the Speed Force allows him to just enter the time stream because of the Speed Force, so he's able to go like forward or backward at will. Like what the fuck?
Man, that's a lot better than Quicksilver.
You could. They could have used Rip Hunter and Booster Gold, or
Oh God, that's somebody they should have
I'm
had in this
legitimately
book.
surprised he
Booster
didn't
Gold.
because he loves those guys. Jeff Johns.
yeah, like Flash. I don't know.
No, overall, okay.
Flash is
overall,
such a problem.
You know what we
character.
haven't had in a long time is the Flash story where he travels in time.
a good DC universe.
Yeah, we did.
Brock,
For all the
overall,
I really
for all
enjoyed
the
it.
fucking audience listeners, I was rolling
And
my eyes
for
in a big way.
$2.99,
Thanks, Brock, for the
it's
corroboration.
It's worth it.
Oh, no disagreement. If you get any comic book that's 80 pages for $2.99, despite all of my like face palms and oh my god, audibly in the shop, I would still say, this is going to set the tone for better for worse for the DC universe for the next at least half decade. So, $2.99.
Imagine for a moment though. That's good value, obviously.
It's
Yes,
fucking-
but imagine for a moment that you're like me. Like imagine you're like some lapsed fan who I haven't read very much New 52. Like I read Suicide Squad, which isn't very good right now, and I sort of tangentially keep up on stuff. And now I hear, oh, the DC Universe Rebirth. Oh, they're fixing a bunch of the stuff I didn't like. All right, there's a new entry point. Let me pick that up.
Yeah.
I read this
Exactly.
under those circumstances.
Exactly.
And I go, okay, that doesn't. I didn't understand half of this, and also it's telling me I need to read these other things, and this doesn't seem like a good jumping on point if you look at it from the perspective of somebody who's not already deeply on the bandwagon.
Dude, exactly correct. So I haven't been since Flashpoint was literally when I jumped off, and I read this, and I haven't read Superman 52, and I haven't read Justice League number 50, and I really like Batman, and I liked what Johns did with Green Lantern, even though I didn't follow it much after the New 52. But it's like, this is supposed to be the jumping on point, and
like, do they have another book?
Okay, wait, no, they don't. First of all, to answer your question that you didn't finish. Second of all,
this is the book. All right,
this is it. So just to go through this quickly, okay, Wally West. Okay, so I'm gonna give.
hey Bryce, why don't you tell us what you think?
Yeah,
I'm
why
gonna
don't you
give
give us
a
your
90-second Bryce like review of as a new
So this is when they can take their 15-minute nap.
non-New 52 reader. This is how I came in and started the book. Okay, haven't read this stuff in a fucking it feels like a decade, even though it's only been half a decade. Okay, first fucking page. Justice League 50 and and Superman number 52. I have to read those first.
Right.
Didn't do that. Okay, already a little alienated. There's a stopwatch. Okay, so it's probably Dr. Manhattan. Oh wait, it's not Dr. Manhattan. I was wildly wrong about that. Okay, there's not one Joker, but there's three. Okay, that's weird. Oh, Flash shows up in Batman's Batcave out of nowhere. Oh, so it's just like Batman v Superman, and it makes about as much sense. Okay, so that doesn't help me at all understand.
But you read Flashpoint, so you should understand that.
I haven't read Flashpoint.
You didn't read Flashpoint? I thought you said you jumped off after Flashpoint.
Yeah, I read all the comics up until Flashpoint, and I read one or two issues of the stuff after Flashpoint without reading the mini, and didn't.
Okay,
Didn't get it.
then I can understand why you don't understand that.
and you're right. There's three Jokers. There's IC, Jared Leto, Jack Nicholson, and I'm going to say Mark Hamill.
So then it goes into this practically in-depth history
I don't
of the
know
Teen
why,
Titans with Wally West and
why
Barry
Heath Ledger's
Allen and
not
all this. Meanwhile, okay, so I'm 20 pages into the book before they get to the Justice Society guy, and I actually like this. I wish that I knew more about this Justice Society guy. Wally West. Okay, look, here's a problem that I actually have with this book is that Wally West is his whole thing is that he's lost in time. He's lost in the Speed Force. He's trying to get a grip on reality so that he can get an anchor point basically for this reality. Correct? Yes. Okay. So he's trying to figure out, okay, who can I go to that will know me? Because apparently, these fucking time-traveling Flash people can only get an anchor point in reality and stay in this reality if they have, somebody that knows them, which is already, totally tenuous.
It's too bad I'm a superhero and literally world famous.
Yeah, yes. So nobody apparently knows him, which is already ludicrous. And then he's like, okay, if I'm Wally West and I'm trying to find an anchor point to literally survive, he says, okay, the first person I'm going to go to is Batman. Okay, I'll give you Batman, although I will fucking not give you that one when we get to his love interest later on in the story. The second person he goes to is this old man in a mental institution that runs the Justice Society. What the fuck? He's going to this guy's second? He's literally already said, I might lose my grip on reality at any point and fall off the cliff of...
It's the Good Life Home for the Elderly. It's not a mental institution.
Oh, God, you're so annoying. Okay, so then he's all right, third we get to Amadeus Cho. Oh, I'm sorry, the racist Asian caricature of some protege in the DC universe discovering the microverse. No, I'm not describing Marvel. This is actually DC. The Adam's Helper is Amadeus Cho Part 2.
Ryan Choi.
Okay, so
wait, does he actually like visit that guy?
No, he doesn't. But
he's
but
just
the
sort of
story
like
interrupts to go there.
he's just sort of being like, these people are.
I'm already not sorry. This is taking more than 90 seconds. Okay, so if the straight Caucasian man. Next in line is the young Asian male that's just as smart, if not smarter. Okay, next in line we have the other minority character that's replacing the straight Caucasian man in the Blue Beetle segment with Jamie Reyes, who is describing how he's...
Jaime.
Is it Jaime?
Yeah. Jaime.
It's Jaime Reyes.
You have to tell the microphone; they can't hear.
Jaime Reyes.
I always thought I didn't know.
Well, thanks for interrupting the story. That was worth it.
It was worth it. I've learned some. I've learned more than I did in that comic.
I also didn't know. I'm actually not sure how Jim knows, but in any capacity. The next story after the Blue Beetle story, which
no, but the Blue Beetle goes back to that it's not scientific; it's now magic.
Well, thank God for that.
The Blue Beetle is not. Dr. Fate is.
No, the Blue Beetle is not extraterrestrial; it's magic.
Yeah, but Dr. Fate says it.
Yeah, Dr. Fate says it because he comes into there. But we find out that the scarab isn't technology; it's dealing with magic.
Yes, thank God.
Which is indistinguishable from magic if sufficiently advanced.
And then apparently Damian Wayne is 13.
Technology. What?
And apparently Damian Wayne is 13.
That's a very old birthday cake. Anyway, and so then we have the next Earth Green Lantern, which is like, yeah, Earth needed another Green Lantern. Thanks, Jeff Johns, for introducing another, minority Green. And by the way, don't get me wrong. Like, there's 110% nothing wrong with minority Green Lanterns, but like, first of all, how many Earthling Green Lanterns do we need guarding the sector? Second of all, we've already got Baz. How is Baz not good enough for like this decade's Green Lantern? And so it's like, okay, well, apparently Baz wasn't minority enough because he wasn't a minority woman, so now we have a minority woman. Okay, that's good. Okay, so then we have Pandora.
Hold on.
Pandora explodes.
No, hold on.
That's really nice.
Cruz and Baz are going to be the protectors of Section 2814. All the rest of them are going to be...
This is why nobody reads comics.
Yeah. All the rest of them are dealing with like other stuff. So they have two protectors.
Okay. So,
can I say something real quick, just so we don't sound horribly like racist or sexist?
I'm really not trying to.
Because the observation that I made sort of before the show, looking at all these parts you just described with Green Lantern, Atom, Blue Beetle, and all that, is that this comic diversity is awesome, and this comic makes a point. It feels like they are going really far out of their way to be like, look, diversity, which in my mind makes it seem very hollow and insincere. The way that they do it.
Mm. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't want to sound like...
Okay, so...
Like
I hope
Jaime Reyes, cool character. A lot of these are cool characters, but the way they do it, they're like, look, it's the gay guy, and look, it's the... like.
Yeah. They're just trying to shoehorn them in.
Do it organically and
organically.
Because
that's what I want as well.
It's very insincere, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. The way that they try to be like, look what we're doing.
Mm. Okay, so meanwhile, Wally West is still not able to find an anchor. He literally has control of the time stream, and he can't find an anchor still. So okay, we have Darkseid's daughter. I must not be familiar with this part of the DC universe at all. This is not Darkseid's daughter that's giving birth to Darkseid, which is weird.
She didn't birth him. That's the stuff that was from Justice League 50.
So she's just naked and looks like she gave birth? Got it. Okay.
Yeah, she's just raising Darkseid.
Got
it.
This is a concept you should be familiar with because Apocalypse was a child.
Wait. Oh, that's a Darkseid baby. Is Darkseid a legacy character?
Oh, well, clearly you didn't read Superman 52 or Justice League 50 before this.
Justice League
yeah.
50.
Right, so now I'm lost.
Yes, well, that was a good job of them describing it before.
On the next spread,
look,
there's a bunch of
Higgins,
white characters.
Ryan talks shit all day long about like any.
I just
issue,
want to see Ryan's reaction to this podcast.
any issue 0, dude. Read this book. Like you're gonna have DC Universe Rebirth #1, your fucking flagship book of the entire year, and you're gonna start on the first page with, by the way, you have to read these other 2 comic books first, which is like fucking woof. Okay, look.
Can you explain to me? There's this page with Darkseid Baby. Then they jump to a spread of like CSI Justice League.
Yeah, this is where Superman
I don't get
died.
it.
If you read Superman 52, Ryan
This
Scott,
would be
know.
the Superman 52. This
Where
is
is Superman's body?
They've
Oh,
already
he's
taken
dead.
it.
How is it clear that is what happened?
Well,
His body kind of
Probably 'cause,
How would you describe it, Jim?
Dusted.
Yeah, his body like dusts.
I
like
describe it as bad writing.
yes, that's how I describe it, but only because Ryan Higgins is not here to interrupt me. So then next page, we get into some fixing some failed marriages. We have Oliver and Dinah Lance. Sorry, Oliver Queen and Dinah Lance. Okay, all of a sudden that's rectified for the fans. Lois and Clark rectified for the fans.
Well, that's already been corrected from Convergence.
Okay, which was what, 1 year ago? Just lip service to yeah, we should have fucking done this from the beginning. People were really fucking angry.
And then there's a dude who shows up who looks like the Spectre, but then he's like, "Call me Mr. Oz," and I wasn't sure if that's a character I should know.
Jim has a theory on that. We'll get to it.
Okay, Jim. We'll get to Jim. This is still Bryce's.
This is
90 seconds.
Bryce's
This
time.
is Bryce. This is the Bryce. This is the Bryce unbriefly. So let's keep going.
Okay, so then we get to Aquaman and
we
Mara,
don't.
and it's like yet another couple that did not start off together in the New 52. It's like, oh, fucking again, oops. And he proposes to her because it's the Surface custom. It's like, God, you guys literally didn't have them together in the New 52 because it was fresh and cool and a reboot and whatever. And it's like, you are literally undoing all of that now because you realize that you shot the bed on that.
So we don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
We don't have to have like a whole page by page. Like,
I was crushing through this thing. I'm sorry that it's 100 pages.
I mean, they're different. Like he's like, how about my girlfriend?
That's what I was getting to. Is that Wally West is looking for an anchor in this fucking reality.
And then
he's like, who is my best chance?
Right.
His first choice was Batman, which is already, in my opinion, tenuous. It was like,
hey, Batman's always a good first choice.
no. That's why I don't. That's why I say tenuous.
But then he's like, who's number 2? Pete Cannon.
The love of my life. Who could know me better than the love of my life? Batman.
And
I think
then-
everybody at this table could be like, maybe.
But then he shows up and he's like, "You're the love of my life," and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know you." Right? And then he's like, "Well,
Okay, I need to interject here, just so you guys know, like everything going through. Chapter 1 is about Lost. Chapter 2 is about Legacy. Chapter 3 is about love, and Chapter 4 is about life.
you're just reading the."
You are
the
literally reading the
titles.
fucking chapter names. That doesn't help anybody.
And then
Yeah,
you
but
get-
you're sitting there complaining about, he goes in this love and this love. That's in the love chapter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think they try too hard to. fit
Oh,
things
your
here.
argument is that because it's in a different chapter, it should mean more? Okay.
But then he's at the end of his rope and he's like, "Okay, I'm a Flash and I'm gonna die because this is what happens in these big events. I just got one more chance. Who could there possibly be?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, it's the Flash."
So he
And
goes
then the
to
Flash is like, "Yeah, you're Wally West," and they hug and they're
No,
like,
you didn't
"Yay."
even. You skipped though because
I didn't
it
skip
gets
anything.
even more ridiculous.
I didn't skip
Is that
anything important.
No, you did.
No, I didn't.
So he says, okay, the love of my life. She's like third choice. Okay. Well, she also doesn't know me. So he's like, who is fourth choice? Captain fucking Boomerang is my fourth choice over Barry Allen for who's going to recognize him.
That whole page is like, yeah, here's all the other movies we got coming. We got Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
We got Cyborg.
Yeah, no, those
Which
two
is
pages,
not taking
those two
anything
pages
away from how ridiculous the situation is.
Those two pages you're talking about are hinting at what's going to go on in Batman with the two Gotham kids. One of the funniest lines in here was from Constantine when he says, "You've always been a pain in the arse, you bloody turnip," when he's talking to Swamp Thing.
That is funny. So Captain Boomerang
And then hold on. Then it talks about Suicide Squad, and then it talks about Cyborg, which is the Teen Titans that's coming out, or the Titans. And then we get back to, which Toby will like, Dick Grayson as Nightwing. Blue suit, not red suit.
Oh, thank
so
God.
Yes, this is an advertisement for those things, which is what this book should do.
It's like the Batman versus Superman of comics.
This is introing you to a lot of stuff.
So after his girlfriend, he says, you know who's next? Is Captain fucking Australian Boomerang. That's a good next choice for who will recognize me.
Well, he's a Flash enemy.
Yeah, he's a Flash rogue.
And he says, like, in the first pages of the book, he's like, I only have so many choices or chances before the Speed Force pulls me in. And literally pulls me into nothing before I disappear forever. And let me go to Captain Boomerang. Oh, that's weird. Flashpoint Captain Boomerang doesn't recognize me.
And then...
you know who will recognize me? Oh, well, since it wasn't my girlfriend, it wasn't Captain Boomerang. Cyborg. What the fuck? Why would Cyborg be next on your list?
Dick Grayson
already also does not know him.
Titans.
My cousin, who shares the exact same name as me, the minority Wally West. Again, minority, totally fine.
We've been through this already.
Wally West in the New 52, they just made him a...
this is redundant.
A black kid.
And
I'm trying to like asterisk the ridiculously of the situation.
Well, right. He doesn't actually stop for those
doesn't understand who he is, and so like 10th on his list is Barry Allen. Like Barry Allen.
He's all like, hey, Uncle Barry, yeah. So Captain Boomerang was ahead of you, and he didn't know me. So
no, but he doesn't stop for those characters.
And Pete Cannon didn't know me either, so I'm hoping... I mean, you're pretty low on the list. I hope something happens.
He's not stopping for those characters.
Shut up.
He is definitely stopping
well,
for these
if you're gonna say something about it, he's not stopping for these characters, which is what Bryce is screaming about.
No, look, did you ever...
Why do you say that?
Hold on, did you ever see... You saw the first Hobbit movie?
Yeah.
Remember the first dwarf shows up, and then they're like, oh, and they have a little banter, and then the second
the first hour of the movie?
and then like by the time you get to dwarves like 8 and 9 and 10, it's just quick montage. That's the same thing here.
Yes, thank you, Ryan Scott and not Brock.
No, but he's pulled to people he knows. He doesn't see them.
He knows Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, but he's pulled to them.
He is reaching out to Captain Boomerang,
but he doesn't jump out at them like he does for Linda and Barry and Bruce and who's the other?
He literally is like Vic
and the Justice Society guy.
To
like that's
to
it.
Vic and Dick.
Vic and Dick.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Like there's only 4 people he shows up to.
You are just channeling Ryan Higgins. Are you Ryan Higgins in disguise? Because like you, so
well, you guys
because they don't get more artwork. You think he doesn't stop with them? Is that what your argument is?
No,
is your argument that because there's not more artwork, he doesn't stop with them?
No, Bryce. I actually read it. It says I'm pulled to people I know. I try to make sense of it. No,
but
I'm lost.
Your argument is literally that because he's pulled to them, he doesn't stay with them.
You guys are so dysfunctional.
He doesn't
it's amazing.
stay with them.
So then,
is this how it is every week?
He only gets pulled to 4 people.
You guys have been doing this for 262 episodes.
And he never says Uncle Barry. He just says Barry. You don't know me, but
I think like 9th choice. The same name, Wally West, he's pulled to, but because it has more art, he actually stays with him. Is that correct?
He doesn't even go to Wally.
Oh,
he just sees Wally.
He's pulled to him.
He just sees Wally. He doesn't stop at these people. He only stops at 4 people in this book.
Okay.
He stops at Batman in chapter 1. He stops
all right, look. Key takeaway, Flash recognizes him, they hug it out, and everything's going to be okay, apparently. And then, meanwhile, in the Batcave, Batman is like, I have to chisel this wall for a reason that is not explained, and I have found...
Wait, you totally skipped over how there was 4 pages of Wally West disappearing.
Yeah.
There are literally 4 pages of him disappearing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, but then Flash is like, I do believe in fairies. I do. And then they hug it out.
Yes, they hug it out.
And then we go back to the Batcave, and Batman decides he needs to chisel on his wall, and we don't know why. And then he finds the comedian's bloodstained button.
So Batman is such a great detective. He reads the letter from his father, and he's like, you know what this letter means? It means that this part of my wall needs to be chiseled out, because hidden in the rocks, somehow, of my Batcave is this fucking, like, smiley face button, which, you know...
No, it's not... It's
those buttons... Even Alan Moore would agree that those buttons are made of plastic and aluminum, and they do not sit in rock and not rust.
it takes some looking at, but
That's true, huh?
He's reading over the letter that his father.
It is
wrote
literally
to him.
aluminum, and there's nothing in that letter that leads him to that part of the Batcave for him to take the chisel out of his bat belt.
Maybe if you had read Batman number 52,
they should have asterisked that for me too.
You know, if you actually read a comic and look panel to panel and pay attention, you'll notice that Batman turns away from the letter, and then off in the distance he sees next to a destroyed computer a glint in the.
How long's Batman had the Batcave? He's never noticed this? World's Greatest Detective?
No, Ryan.
What?
Brock clearly said if you've ever read a comic book before,
What?
you would know this. So I
Well,
wish you read a comic book before.
What you're saying is true, and
he's looking in a different direction.
He sees a
Something
glint.
catches his eye. He goes to look at it, and it's the comedian's button.
He sees a glint in his
This is how
home,
it has to break.
in his own headquarters.
But it's
he built.
It's behind a computer that's damaged.
So
He's got it.
what?
You're not even going to touch on the. You're really not even going to touch on the epilogue.
Oh, and then
Because he doesn't like blue cock.
in the epilogue, it implies that this universe was created by Dr. Manhattan. Is that what they're implying?
That is what they're implying.
No, it's implied that Dr. Manhattan stole the 10 years.
The what?
There's 10 years missing.
There are?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Like a Jenga piece.
How do you know that?
Very good.
Because that's what Wally's
I fucking read the
explaining
book.
in his
You read the
long-ass
book.
narrative.
Even though Brock
Oh.
would not like to admit that.
So are we going to have
No, I'm proud of you that you got through it, Bryce. I'm very proud of you.
Are we going to have a weekly series for 10 years to explain the 10 missing years?
Who knows?
It's called the 520 or whatever the fuck that math is,
The
which
five-
is not
hold on.
520. Yeah, I did.
Well, it
that.
is 520.
3560?
It is 520 because 52 times 10 is 520.
20. Yeah,
There you
520
go.
weeks.
You're welcome.
Very good. he hit that totally by accident, I swear.
Well, as soon as I said it, I was
they'll
like,
do it.
10 times. That's not right.
When you doubted yourself, you lost it right there.
They'll do it in 5 years and double ship.
So, Toby and Jim, what did you guys think of this book?
Toby, you're first.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm done.
You're never done.
Thank God.
I'm gonna have to reread it because I kind of rushed it, even though it took me 2 hours to actually read it.
No, Toby, it only took you an hour.
Well, felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, it did.
Well, we were all standing over your shoulder being like,
Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird to read something while everybody's just waiting to start the podcast. It was
and you're
alright.
like, shut up, I can't read while people are
I really
talking.
can't, I really
And then
can't.
Bryce was just like, I'm going to talk for an hour straight.
I really.
Don't worry, Toby. I am in the same boat. I cannot concentrate. Like TV, it can't be on if I'm reading.
Yeah, so, so I got spoiled with a lot of this stuff. So reading it, there was not a lot of surprises. So I was kind of bummed because I wished by reading it there would be a lot of woo moments. Maybe if I didn't get spoiled, then there would have been more of that factor. But then I would be thoroughly confused, as it seems Ryan Scott is right now. So maybe it was good that I got spoiled because I actually kind of got it at that point. Then. The scene with Wally in the beginning really did feel like the BVS scene, which is kind of funny because if I read this before and then watch BVS, I'd be a lot more excited. Means they're gonna fix a lot of things that they messed up on
In BBS.
So I don't know. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was great. I am curious to see where this is all going to head because I am missing a lot of things from pre New 52, and I do feel like a lot of things are missing. This just feels a really weird reconstruction of we're going to put things back together how they're supposed to be. In my mind, New 52 should have never happened.
Well, that's why I don't like they're spending all of this energy to sort of put all these pieces in different places to sort of fix the mess.
Yeah.
They should just go, you know what? Here is the new 52.
Yeah.
And just none of that, just forget that other stuff. Here is how we should have done it in the first place, and now it's fine. Why don't they? Why?
I do feel there's a lot of fluff going on right now. Now, Jeff Johns has done this really well in the past. I love Flash Rebirth. I love Green Lantern Rebirth. So
they have spilled a bunch of stuff on the carpet that doesn't clean out. It stains forever, and they're trying to clean it up instead of just replacing the carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
It's a fucking beautiful analogy.
It's well, not really, but
no, it's great.
I hear
spilled
you.
coffee on my white button down this morning, and it's still there, and it's not going to go away. It's literally.
and you're gonna buy a new shirt. You love that word way too much.
Which one? Literally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. called out.
So, yeah.
I'm a little weirded out by the Wonder Woman twin.
Do you know what I'm bothered by?
What?
The fact that Harley Quinn is on the cover alongside all the heroes. Why are they trying to position her as a hero? I don't
Where
like
is
that.
she in the cover?
No, you're looking at the variant.
Oh, there's a different cover.
That's the variant.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
still, she is the only villain among...
She's
Well,
going to be
you
a
said
huge
she's-
star, though.
well,
Margot
she's-
Robbie is playing her.
she's currently-
going to get her own
herself,
movie.
Though, like it's the movies, and
She's currently
she's an anti-hero, not a villain.
in her actual series. She's currently trying to help people,
Oh, yeah?
so she's not necessarily the best. She's in between right now. She's not
They've Catwomaned her.
kind of yeah. She's
fucking
still
Deadpool'd
she's
her.
still violent and she's still aggressive, but yeah, Deadpool's better. But Harley Quinn's funnier.
Harley Quinn is awesome.
No, I was saying Deadpool was a better comparison.
Like
than
Oh,
Harley
right,
Catwoman.
right. Got it. And they have Super Babby on the cover. I don't know who he is. Yeah, it's Super Kid.
It's
Jonathan
Kent.
Oh, yeah, Super.
because
You're looking at all the new
What
stuff
are we
already.
looking at?
He has a variant cover that nobody saw, and he's the only one looking at.
Oh, is this spoilers?
No, it's not.
No, it's
spoiler.
not. They've been
Super-
announced.
Super
So
Bad.
there's going to be the Super Kids book, which is going to be
And there's
Damien and
it's gonna be
Superboy.
Damien and Jonathan.
There's a weird looking Green Lantern with a luchador mask on.
Well,
Yeah,
this
that's
huge.
Baz.
That's Baz.
That's the guy
Yeah,
with the
that's
gun that
Baz
they mentioned in
Luhrmann?
the book. Yeah. Well, not Lerman,
And
not the dance.
Baz
Not
Luhrmann.
not
Toby,
the dance.
you'll like the
because I can.
the greatest heroes, their greatest threat spread because we
one
got
person will
Spoiler
get that.
and Cassie.
Well, they've been in the New 52.
what do you think, Jim?
First, you start off with all of you guys are idiots.
with
The Haterade.
with Superman 52 and Justice League 50, and then leading into Rebirth, I enjoyed it a lot more. There were a lot of let's see. There was just a lot of key points in here that I picked out, especially for the Justice League 50. I did like the Dark Side baby that oh god, what's her name? Grail is taken care of.
She's taking care of her father.
We have yet another yet another Green Lantern, and even the Green Lanterns are going, what the hell? You know, why is there another Green Lantern? We have Lex Luthor now in Superman armor. We have the reveal, and this is all in the back of Justice League 50, the last few pages. We have 3 Jokers now. Batman finally reveals what the Mobius chair revealed to him, to Green Lantern. So now we have 3 Jokers, and we don't know what the hell's going on.
By the way, if any of you are confused, this all happens not in Rebirth.
Not in
number
Rebirth.
one,
This
but
is all
in
the last 5-6 pages
two
of
issues
Justice
that-
League 50.
we were supposed to have read beforehand.
Wonder
you're a
Woman.
fan.
Wonder Woman has a brother that couldn't be raised up on the Paradise Island.
That
So
does.
the mascara.
It could be. It's weird, but it could be potentially a really cool storyline.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is
Like
in,
if there's no males allowed, what would you
Exactly,
do, right? So that
exactly.
could potentially be a really cool story.
well, the thing in Justice League
it's just a weird reveal.
in Justice League 50 and in 49, Grail takes over Steve Trevor and kind of he's channeling the anti-life equation because she thinks that he is the first male to touch the island, and that's not the truth. The truth was it was Wonder Woman's twin brother.
Yeah.
And so he's the chosen one, but that's something that's going to
Unravel itself,
unravel it
yeah,
in
later
Wonder
on.
Woman.
And then we get to the epilogue with Justice League 50. I loved Owlman in the Mobius chair. He thinks he's just the shit and that he can handle anything. And he's talking to Metron, and all of a sudden he gets smoked. And if you've read Watchmen, you know exactly how he got smoked and what happened. And he's like, "Oh my God, he's here!" Pink, poof, and he's gone. A bloody red mist.
Are the
on
Watchmen going to
moon.
show up and fight everybody?
Well, let me go through.
Is there a mini series that follows this?
No,
Or is there-
it does seem like. I mean, well,
Is this the beginning of?
Well, if you
Like-
open up, like you said, when you open up, DC Rebirth, the very first page, like you says, it does say read Justice League 50 and Superman 52. Okay, I read 52. You can read the last few pages of 52, and you're okay. You're caught up. All right, you can read the last few pages of Justice League 50. You're caught up. You don't need to read the whole thing. All right, Darkseid gets smoked, and he comes back as a baby. All right, so the new 52 Superman dies and turns into a pile of dust. All right, so
A lot of dust in it.
a lot of dust in that. Yeah, so
Okay, but in summary, there's still a Superman and still a Darkseid, so neither of those things are really relevant.
Pretty much.
Darkseid's a child. So
Okay,
he has
well,
to
I'm
grow
sure
up.
that'll
And
last a very long time.
The
and he will not
Superman
be a threat.
The Superman that we have is the one that everybody wants.
Okay.
So yeah, they got rid of some redundant characters.
Okay.
All right. So you open up, and yes, it's
Yeah,
the watch.
good job with those Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and you immediately jump into it's
There's that Damian Wayne guy. So clearly they pruned the Robins back to the ones that people know and care about. All right, great.
You got Batman brooding over trying to deal with 3 Jokers now.
Let's see.
All right,
okay.
we don't need to recap all the book again.
I'm not going through all right.
3 Jokers. Okay, that slims it down.
But you do still have
Jokers.
You still have
Batmans,
DC.
Green Lanterns.
You have DC trying to bring back in the legacy within the universe. New 52 wiped
Which I
out.
appreciate. No, I mean
DC wiped out legacy in New 52. All right,
do
they
want
took out
the
the Justice
legacy back.
Society. They took out the Wally West of the Flash. They took out the Jay Garrick. They took out all the rest of them. Okay,
yeah.
But a lot of us who were reading DC prior to New 52, prior to Flashpoint, we liked, we enjoyed the legacy. I enjoyed the history. I enjoyed the Golden Age and Silver Age characters, being there, training up the new characters, for the future and stuff like that. When you wipe all that out, you wipe out DC's history. All right? So now, and Pandora gets smoked. Yes, Bryce.
So my question is, how is there fucking no consultants during the New 52 that were like, dude, there's a fucking... there are thousands of people like Jim Jokisch that are going to be like, this is not cool. We are not happy with
I'm
this.
sure there's people that raise that flag.
They cannot please everybody. They tried to please what they thought were the masses at the time.
No,
okay?
I think they wanted new readers. Bottom line, they wanted a new.
Well,
group
New
of
52 was successful. I mean, it did do that. They had the variants. They had they had the new storylines. It was fresh, but then
it killed a lot of the old school readers.
But then they turned around and they lost the old school readers as well. So now it's okay. We're going to keep what we like out of Convergence. We're going to keep what we like out of New 52. We're going to bring back the legacy. And we're going to try and, rebirth the DC universe.
Okay.
But there's one thing. Alan Moore never, ever wanted the Watchmen to be part of the DC universe.
This makes it feel really
weird. He has
weird.
to be losing his freaking mind right now because...
I would not be surprised if, tomorrow morning there's people killed at the DC offices, and it was some guy that had a long beard and long hair.
Here's a smile button with some blood on it.
I imagine Alan Moore is so over it and doesn't care and does not pay attention to it.
Yeah, I just don't know.
And he still doesn't cash the checks.
Look, here's the thing. It rubs me a little bit, and I don't know the truth behind the story, right? It rubs me a little bit the wrong way when you have a deal to get the characters back when the book goes out of print, and the DC just decides to keep the book in print indefinitely, so he never gets the rights back. And then now they're gonna put the Watchmen into the actual DC universe. So I don't know. It's just more like, oh, we're gonna stab you a little bit. I'm gonna stab you some more. It's almost like when Jon Snow gets stabbed by his own people. It's like, oh, we're gonna take turns, and then while we were
spoilers.
We already told people there's going to be tons of spoilers in here.
While we're getting to the DC thing, let's have a little kid come in to go, hey, we're gonna make this part of the DC universe.
Do you know what my favorite part is? My new favorite part, because I keep coming up with them.
Oh my god!
Because the back of the book
He's
is
liking it, Bryce. He's enjoying it.
The back of the book.
I want to guess. My guess is that he goes to the love of his life, fucking 7th.
What?
Wally West.
What now? The back of the book is a bunch of ads for the upcoming Rebirth comics.
One page.
And there's one spread that's like the two facing ads are Suicide Squad #1, Action Comics number 957. Like, that's not confusing.
No, they've talked about going back to the original numbering.
Pretend you don't know any of that.
Action Comics and
pretend you don't know any of that, and you're like, I just saw a movie I liked. What should I check out? And you're like, Action Comics number 957 is a great.
What the fuck
no
movie did they see?
I don't know. I'm just.
I mean, I don't know. The art looks
good.
It's a
DC movie that you like.
Probably Civil War.
What universe are we in?
Huh? It's a
DC Universe 616.
It's real odd that they're going. I know they're going back to the original numbering for Action Detectives.
Sorry, Bryce, I had to go there.
It's strange.
Yeah. Well, bottom line to me is I love the old DC universe, and I'm happy that it's coming back. And, the giant crossovers, sorry, maybe it's because I'm not smart enough, but I get lost in them and I stop caring. This seems to be the start of it, but I'm really looking forward to the fixed history.
This will actually probably pull me back into the DC universe again. I was collecting Green Lantern out of a loyalty to Green Lantern, but not because I was really enjoying the books.
Yeah.
All right. This right here, I enjoyed this.
Hopefully,
I enjoyed some of the some of the Easter eggs that were in here. That's the word I was looking
but
for
I feel
earlier.
like the stuff that's been tainted already. I mean, my favorite 3 scenes in here is the Linda one, which I think should have been a lot earlier.
The what?
The Linda scene.
Yeah, like
the girlfriend.
right at the
that should have been the first. And going, who are you? He goes,
you know who Linda is? Okay. I didn't.
Oh,
know
you know who Linda was?
Linda's his wife.
Linda was his wife, and before Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Actually,
Linda Park.
if they had let off with her.
They should have started with her, and he goes,
that would have been a great context because he would have been like, "Oh my God, she doesn't know me. What am I going to do?"
Yeah,
that's
and then the
Flash,
Flash, and then maybe,
kind of
or maybe go
going for,
Batman and then
like-
Flash. Barry, I mean.
No, her first.
Yeah.
Like, love of his life. That's got to be.
Yeah. You go Linda first. She doesn't goes, I don't know you. He goes, what the hell am I going to do?
Right.
Goes
I
to
know
Batman. You go, hey, Batman, fix this shit.
Exactly.
And then Batman goes, I don't know you either. And he goes, my friend will know me.
Like
and
me.
Let's
Exactly.
hug. Bro hug.
Like me, even if I lived in a world where freaking Batman existed, if I'm untethered from reality, who's my anchor? My wife's the first person I go to.
Yeah. I'm sending you.
Who's your constant?
To April
you
Scott
know?
before I'm sending you to
Yeah.
Bryce Larsen.
Yeah.
Even though Bryce
That
Larsen
would be
makes it
funny.
way better.
That would be funny. That would be a good
Bryce
comic book
artwork,
scene.
because
That would be an
Ivan
excellent comic book
Ivan
page.
Reitz
Yeah,
draw
you're
me
you're
really
like you're
handsomely.
like my Pete Cannon. I mean, I
God damn it.
Is that an old joke? Is that
Hey, look, overall,
Bryce, here's a beer. Remember me.
which means you're the you're
I
clearly
remember the beer. Thanks a lot.
you're my Pete Cannon, which means you're clearly the second person I go to in this
Well,
logic.
hey, my pleasure.
Charlie and
I would have
Ryan
gone
are
to
going
April
to
and
kill
been
us all.
like, did you know that Brian Scott guy? Because I didn't. But yeah, dude, the order in which they did this was fucking batshit crazy.
Look, I still believe in Jeff Johns. I think he does fantastic things. So.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you actually think that he does fantastic things
I do.
to the point that he used to, or do you think that he's Brian Michael Bendis did a little bit?
I don't know. If I keep reading and
I know you don't know.
this,
I'm asking your opinion.
I'm saying I don't haven't formulated one yet. The one issue will not make me go, he's Brian Bendis, this. Even though I like his newer stuff.
Well, we don't
This-
get
all right,
like
let-
1,600 panels on
This
one page.
issue makes me also think of something else. Jeff Johns had a bet and said, I bet I can turn a worthless comic book into a top seller on eBay and turn around with a Dr. Manhattan #4. And everybody.
Fucking collectors.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
Well, look, Jeff Johns, he's written a lot of really good things in the past, right?
Oh, yeah. He's amazing. He really is.
This, I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know all the editorial decisions, but I'm assuming this set of tools he had to work with for this comic was like editorial mandate. You must, you this is the box you have to work in to fix it. And
Yeah.
he's like, I guess I'll try to do the best I
Yeah,
can.
he had a fucking
right?
rubric, and it was like, you must promote all these movies, all these TV shows. You must fix this storyline, this storyline, and this storyline. You must incorporate this, this, and this. And he said, fucking challenge accepted. And he did, because he's the fucking best thing that they have.
but isn't he
He
the
is
one
the
that's
best thing
the
to have.
over creative development? So he would be the one that's saying this is what we
No,
need to
he
fix?
might have done those rules to himself.
Yeah,
It's very
you know,
possible. Who knows?
that's-
Who knows? We're not DC Comics.
Well,
We're just a bunch of assholes talking about it.
DC's editorial is still run by like
call.
Jim Lee and Dan Didio, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, who's the editor on this? Do we have one?
Still don't.
Look, I still have a lot of faith in Jeff Johns.
they're above
so.
him on the masthead. Okay,
Yeah.
like so they probably were like, this is the mandate. These are the boxes. you
Well,
know.
okay. This is the thing is
So after the epilogue, real fast. I mean, yes, you end up on Mars. You end up with the watch. Yes, and you end up with the clock that's a quarter to midnight. Wasn't midnight World War III? Wasn't midnight whenever they would launch?
Midnight was when
Right?
when the squid happened.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
They put the
I mean,
squid in
kind
New
of
York.
both, right? Like, it was intended to be World War III, but it was when the squid fucking
Right.
came in
Ah.
like shit.
This is basically telling us the shit is
Well,
going to hit.
DC
the fan.
already had World War III, so this is going to be World War IV. Huh?
But
Can't wait.
But the thing is what you have to remember is John's writes for the long story. So there are things in here that will be revealed, like more will be revealed later.
Like why Batman didn't know there was a Watchman button in his cave and how it lasted so long?
It was the broken computer, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah. Broken computer even a broken computer
Who could
is
stop
right.
Dr. Manhattan?
Is right.
That's the
Twice a
question.
day.
The only one who could stop it was
Spectre?
is God.
Right hand of God?
Is God.
Spectre?
Dr.
Right-hand of God?
Oz. Dr. Oz.
Maybe Jesse Custer.
So real fast on who Oz is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, I got a theory that
He's
if
a
you
werewolf?
if you go back
Fell in love with Willow.
if you go back to
down for that.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was somebody in a green cloak walking around. It was Pariah, and he was
God,
narrating.
that guy is so depressing.
Wow, Pariah. That's a deep cut. I
And
remember
he
that.
he actually narrated and went through the Crisis of Infinite Earths with you. He actually did a lot of that. So for him to show up in this makes sense.
Well, it could possibly be.
It could possibly be Pariah. It could be somebody else. But with the green cloak and all, I mean, he's throughout.
Where's Psycho Pirate? He's the only one who remembers.
Look, I know you're joking.
he's one of the
but
Jokers.
I legitimately expected Psycho Pirate to show up in this because this is kind of like.
Well, he got
Infinite Crisis, yeah.
DC.
He died
loves
a
their,
Game of Thrones death.
I was surprised that the Monitor didn't show up and Psycho Pirate didn't show up.
Well,
and
it's early. It's still
the Monitors.
No, there's not going to be a DC Rebirth number 2, is there?
No.
There's miniseries, right? No. Is there?
No.
This is it?
one
This
shot.
is it. This is one. This is the intro
Oh, no
book for the
wonder
rest
there's
of
so
it.
much shit in here because
Yeah.
they want you to read all these other books.
Exactly. Toby, hold the door.
Hey,
hold the door.
Dude, I told you I'm slow with this shit, man.
You know, one of my friends once was like, "What's the freaking Infinite Crisis? Is how are we going to sell more comics?"
Yeah.
That's the crisis.
No. What?
Dude, that's exactly correct, though.
No,
So-
to answer your question, Anti-Monitor dies in Justice League.
Oh, thank God I answered that.
Hey Bryce, let's. Did you like the logo?
Wow, that's apparently.
Oh wait,
fucking
is
hilarious.
this a new DC logo?
Yes.
Yeah, it is a new DC
So
logo.
to answer your question,
I don't think
without,
it looks very good.
without
didn't even
hilarity. I think it's a fucking non-event. It's a new logo. I don't fucking.
You know what happens when there's new logos? They keep getting more bland. Just in all cases where people are like, "We got new logos," they keep getting more
hipster
bland.
universe. They
I
can't
like
get
the
more
last one.
crazy, or people get
peel?
angry, and so they have
I
to
like
get more
the peel.
plain and-
I like the.
This is like some flat design stuff without
Yeah.
Well,
understanding
I-
the appeal of flat design.
For me personally, like when they changed it to the peel and stuff, I was a little off put by it. But then I started to realize it's nice kind of having these different logos for the different time periods. Like I can know that if I pick up a book and I see the peel, it's
you're like,
a new
nope.
52.
Yeah,
Don't
but the
want that
peel
one.
didn't start in the 52, dude.
Yeah,
The peel was there way before that.
No,
They
the
had
peel-
a different. Didn't they have a different one? Though?
Yeah, they had the star one.
right.
Oh.
It didn't start with New 52. It wasn't
That
until
was
later.
my favorite one. Was the one from the 80s and 90s with the red one with the stars.
Yeah, and then there was another star one after that. But the New 52 was the regular DC one.
Are you thinking
I
of
agree.
Bryce? You're
The one
thinking
before,
the
the
bullet
two before.
logo, right?
I
One with
agree.
the
It's a
star.
non-event.
And
I
the
agree with
little
you. It's a
flip thing
non-event.
didn't come till like issue
Maybe
4 or
Ryan
5.
Scott,
It
but-
might have been that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell the periods. That would have been
the
better
internet
call.
just blew up about it, and now
if
you
you're only
know
on
what the
issue
hell,
3
you know.
or 4, you can
This is
tell.
a good,
It's a freaking
good
logo.
conversation we're having. I wish
That's
people
nerd
could.
talk.
I wish
to
people
the
could
fullest.
understand any of it.
Nerd talk to the fullest.
So what's our takeaway? Like, is there anything else to say about this book?
Charlie is
Get
gonna
it.
love it. Ryan is gonna love it.
Dude, I could literally
Well,
not
there
have
we
said
go
it better
again.
in 15 minutes. Marvel is still better than DC.
Oh,
That's all I have to say.
In the
about it.
movies.
Yeah.
In the movie, oh
in
god, yeah.
every fucking capacity. That what you just said is not even a fucking question. The question is whether or not they're better in comics, and I say yes.
The answer after this might be yes. I don't know.
I don't know. Thanos with a bazooka is kind of lame.
So Ryan, next week, Ryan's.
I wish that we had a fucking mic drop emote for Barack's comments that just land with a fucking
Keep
bazooka.
going. Ryan,
Did you
Ryan Higgins.
blah blah blah.
Thanos.
Ryan,
Thanos bazooka.
Oh, what do you think Ryan's going to think about it?
he's
Ryan's gonna love
So,
it. I
all
just
right.
said it.
For those of you that are
said
missing
it.
Ryan Higgins and
What's
Charlie,
he going to love? What's he going to love about?
Yeah.
Since you guys missed them, let me give
how about you be Ryan, I be Charlie. Let's do it.
I'll be Ryan. I'll tell you what he's going to be like. He's going to get on the podcast next week.
Okay, no.
No, you be Ryan. You are all idiots. Let me tell you about this DC universe.
He's gonna be like.
Oh my god! Did you guys see this book? Oh my god! It starts off with the Watchmen. Oh my god! This is so good. And by the way, je parle français because I just got back from français. Oh, and my god! It incredibly recreates that awesome scene from that awesome movie where Flash comes and he visits Batman. Oh god, this book couldn't get any better. But then it does, because they have the microverse and Amadeus Cho and he's visiting the Atom, and then Pandora shows up and blows up, and then Superman's dead. But that's awesome because they've never done that before in the DC universe.
What the hell is the microverse? Is that like the midi-chlorians of DC Comics? What is this microverse?
Wait, did we not explain this?
Yeah, no, the microverse.
DC universe straight up.
Let me be Charlie.
Let
me be Charlie. Well, let me explain to you. The microverse is the universe when it's really tiny.
Hey there, guys. It's actually everything's really good.
Yeah.
This is a 4-star out of 4-star book.
That's a much better Charlie impression.
Let me explain it.
Charlie can kill you. I just want you to know that.
Let me think
Charlie
about
has big hands.
In fairness, it'll take him longer to kill me than it'll take any of you.
when this is a giant omnibus in my hands, it will feel really good.
He's a fucking lumbering, awesome dude. Like,
He is awesome.
I would definitely see him coming.
No,
anyway.
me. You didn't see me coming.
Oh, okay.
We definitely won't see you coming. That's for sure.
You'd be dead before you knew it.
If I'm,
you better watch your back.
I called Jon Snow, and you're that little guy that killed me.
I don't know. I'm not caught up.
No, you're that.
You'll know what's happening when you get
are
up.
you not? That it's a spoiler then.
Oh, I keep up on the news stories.
Oh.
I just haven't
What was
watched
that
it.
kid's name? I hung you though. Whatever your name is.
So look,
I hung you.
this book exists.
Higgins and Charlie
Buy it if
love
you
this book.
Buy it if you like things that are like this.
No.
And then complain about it on the internet.
So I think Marvel's infinitely better than DC, but I would still say buy this because look, 80 pages for $2.99. As much as I'm gonna be annoyed by elements
if you like
of this
the
book,
Flash of the TV, I think you actually like this book. It's very,
for less
very
than
related.
the price of a coffee, you can buy this book, which will get you more enjoyment than a
I
coffee.
do think TV Flash watchers are actually could jump on
you're
board because of
overselling
this
it a
book.
bit. I would
Well, I buy a lot of coffee.
I would definitely take Starbucks over this.
Yeah, no, but honestly, I
but
do
not if
think
you
the
bought as much
TV
as I
watchers can watch this. Can read this. The TV Flash watchers could actually jump on board and actually make some sense of it.
Look, don't get me wrong. This book is garbage, but I buy a lot of coffee. This is where this argument is coming from.
So you're calling your coffee garbage?
Yeah, that I buy 2 to 3 times a day.
Maybe you should re-examine your life choices.
Yeah, you sound like my wife.
Yeah, well,
Except for the part where you tell me that you love me.
nope. You know what? Yeah, this reminds me of the Flash TV show where there's sunshine and happiness and smiles. That reminds me so much of the TV Flash.
And multiple characters and multiple Earths and multiple everythings.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just killed this character in one show, but we're bringing her back.
Well, no, it's really funny because I had a buddy come over and he watched early Flash and he watched it now and he goes, "Isn't that a bad guy?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's the same guy but a different guy from a different Earth." And he goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You don't like doing that to people?
And you handed
just
him
like
this
blows
comic
them
book and you said,
Just read this book.
Just
It'll
read
make
this, it'll
perfect
all
sense.
make sense.
Yeah, so there's 2 US,
then-
one's black, one's white.
Exactly. And then he wanted to murder you.
so I
to
think
make
He
less
shows
sense.
up like he does in BVS. It's
Look,
not a part of it.
There's 2
For those of you considering reading this comic book, this is the worst jumping on point DC could have possibly.
What
fucking
Bryce
done.
is really saying
That's
is
my criticism.
this is
of
cheaper
it.
than
Thank
a
you,
Marvel
Ryan
book.
Scott, for being more accurate than Brock's about to say.
This is a cheaper Marvel book. You can get this and some shitty coffee and sit down and read this drinking your shitty coffee.
That is
Yeah.
literally
And
not
get-
true. You
and
cannot
get
buy this and shitty coffee.
Way more enjoyment out of it.
I think you might.
That's also definitely not
I
true.
think you, Bryce, you might have stepped out when I said this, but if the whole point of the whole point of this is, geez, we need to clean up some of the stuff we screwed up in New 52 and have a new jumping on point for readers and get back to the characters the way they could relate to them more and whatnot, they should have just started over. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Dude, all right, this is... Look,
they have muddied the whole legacy of DC
I don't
in the
know if they
last
should have
5
started
years.
over
in
then.
such
and
a
now
big
they
way.
pulled the Watchmen into it.
Jeff Johns... Look, this is...
This is a capsule version of all the problems in comics, because you have a guy that's like, I'm from multiple realities, blah, all this stuff happened. Read these comics, goodbye. doesn't.
Dude,
And then there's these guys, the Watchmen. You may remember that movie that apparently I'm the only person who liked
it's
it.
a fucking huge misstep in my opinion. Look, dude, I like you will never hear me say that DC is better than Marvel, but like Jeff Johns is a better writer. There has been no greater writer since Chris Claremont, in my opinion, writing quote-unquote modern comics. But just like Batman v Superman, there's never been a bigger missed opportunity for writing, for creating comic book content, I should say.
Did you read Chris Claremont? Chris
Yeah.
Claremont's Justice League arc, like many years ago.
I don't want to talk about it. That wasn't X-Men. I don't know. I don't know.
He made up a vampire character named Crucifer. I think that's the only thing I need to say about that.
But it sounds incredible.
Okay. Chris Claremont.
Okay, no, we're not talking about DC Chris Claremont. We're talking
Chris
about
Claremont's gone downhill.
with John
Chris Claremont went like Frank Miller nuts.
Well,
You know.
he's still writing. If you've read anything of his in the past decade for Marvel, it's fucking woof.
Right. Chris Claremont's one of those people that you're like, he used to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. If there was any
Okay, sorry.
clarification needed.
Okay, we
I'm talking
agree-
about
we
80s
agree.
and 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. No. When they like had him come back to writing for when X-Men 1 or 2 came around for Uncanny X-Men in like I don't even remember, but it was around the turn of the fucking millennium. Fucking Chris Claremont, fucking woof. Anyway, the point is,
Woof.
there is no bigger missed opportunity than Batman v Superman the movie. Second to that, there is a fucking huge missed opportunity with this Rebirth.
With all the X-Men
comic
movies.
book. This comic book could have been...
Oh, let's not talk pre-sales of Thursday night showings for that movie.
It's fucking...
Oh, you
both
guys
of
will be talking about that next week, I
know.
assume.
What?
Yeah.
The X-Men? movie?
Seriously, you think this is a serious missed opportunity? Second
Yes.
to Batman versus Superman? Second?
Second in as many weeks. How about that? Second.
Okay, all right.
Second in as
How
many.
about this year?
Second in as
This
many
year.
months.
How about this year?
Second-
We go with this year.
Second this year. Sure. My point is that they fucking like hugely misstepped in the New 52. They lost a bunch of fucking great readers. They lost a bunch of very fucking loyal readers, and they could have gotten them back with this book. And I think that this book does a lot of things right, but does too many things wrong that they could have very easily gotten right.
You know, for my part, reading comics, like I sort of like fell off right when the New 52 came out. I was
Yeah,
like, Flashpoint, I
me
don't
too.
care, this is dumb. And everything after that, it's just like, this is dumb. This kind of doesn't acknowledge the continuity and stuff that I'm a fan of. You know, I see it kind of peripherally reading Suicide Squad. I read it and I'm like, all this stuff is too different. None of that stuff from like the good old Suicide Squad like has kind of carried through, and this kind of rubs me the wrong way. I wish they would go back to that old sort of continuity and acknowledge all this stuff again and keep things consistent with the way it was. And I don't know if I'm just being a grumpy old man. I don't know if there's a bunch of people who feel the same way. I don't know if this is supposed to accomplish that.
the thing is
somehow.
I was with you up to the point where you said this is no good.
Yeah. The thing is,
I was off at New 52 as well, and I didn't enjoy coming back from Flashpoint either, and I dropped almost all my DC books. I am of the other opinion that I think this will actually pull me back to the DC universe. I'm hoping that the new material...
Is it this specific story, or are you looking forward to what's coming?
I'm looking forward to what's coming.
Okay, so what do you actually think about this book, then, is the bottom line?
I think this book is a good advertisement.
I mean, if what's coming is full of Superman being like, I'm the other Earth Superman and all that, like, it's going to be dumb.
Well, that's already happened.
Right. That's bad. Give us like there's
It is Superman.
But
it is the Superman that you want and you love. It's
Right.
the one that's married to Lois and they have a kid. That's the one that everyone is.
it's muddied being like, I'm from this different reality and there's all this baggage that comes with me.
The thing is also like Rebirth is part of what DC's done in the past, right? What they did, Johns did Green Lantern's Rebirth. He did Flash's Rebirth. He's done these Rebirth things, and they're not something that is, we have to start over completely for this, so on and so forth. Green Lantern had been gone for a while.
But I thought, here's the thing.
Wait, he wasn't done. That was very eloquent.
Flash, and Green Lantern Rebirths were magical to me because it was like take some of the old, mix it with some of the new, and this is the new beginning, right? In this, it just doesn't feel quite right. Maybe it's because there's too much going on in this book. Maybe if they simplified it by just having a flash and dump some of the other stuff out. I honestly think it's maybe the Watchmen thing. I honestly think it's the Watchmen thing. It throws. If this would have just been Kid Flash coming back going, "Hey, things have been wronged," it might have been fine to me. But I don't know. I think it's overcomplicated. I think it's overcomplicated.
The whole Watchmen book ending seems like them being like, "Ooh, big twist, guys."
Exactly. That is a crazy.
Do you get the twist? The Watchmen.
I had enough problems.
Do you see what we did with the watch on the first page?
Exactly.
I'm saying Chekhov's watch.
Well, I read a little bit of what Jeff Johns said. He was that Kid Flash is kind of the optimist, and he wanted someone to be more cynical about it. That's why he picked Dr. Manhattan. I don't know.
Oh wait, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Did he go to Dr. Manhattan at the end?
No, Dr. Manhattan is the one that
stole
supposedly
the 10
we don't
years.
know yet, but per interviews and per spoilers, is he created New 52, or as we understand it,
Why
maybe.
did he what? Why?
So the way Jeff Johns is setting it up, supposedly, again, I don't know nothing. Is Kid Flash is the yin and Dr. Manhattan is the yang.
Oh, that sounds like a wacky buddy cop movie.
Dude,
Very
Who
wacky.
that is the worst buddy cop movie since Thor Ragnarok. Spoiler alert for Thor Ragnarok.
Could you imagine
it's going to
Kid
be a
Flash
buddy cop
sitting-
movie with Hulk and Thor. That's
Could you
going to be
imagine
an
Kid
awesome
Flash
Marvel.
sitting in the driver's seat next to a naked blue guy? That'd be weird.
No, can you imagine?
Dr. Manhattan and Kid Flash. Well,
You know how
it'd probably
they
be a better read than that.
You know how
Nighthawk
they
and whatever Star
Attempt
Kid.
failed.
You know how they have the recurring sort of like, oh, who's faster, Flash or Superman? They could do
Yeah.
Kid
Don't
Flash
ask Brock,
and
he'll say that
Kid-
Quicksilver's not
Kid
faster.
I don't really care. Kid
No, we know
Flash,
Quicksilver
Nobody-
can't even do
nobody
anything.
Kid Flash, and Dr. Manhattan. Like, oh, who can rewrite all of reality the fastest? Oh,
Seriously.
who's the fastest omnipotent being in the multiverse?
I think that Dr. Manhattan will take fewer than 6 pages
it's
to
Grant
fall
Morrison.
apart in reality. So Dr. Manhattan will win. But
It's
yes.
what do you say?
It's Grant Morrison.
Yeah. Well, you did say this was a deep read, Brock. It's just like a Grant Morrison book. It's deep,
Well, it's fine.
real deep read.
That's what Brock says. I'm going to go on record as saying I disagree with that.
Yeah, I really.
Wait, do you disagree with me on this? I think they got that part.
Good.
Like I said, I liked the Easter eggs. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the advertisement, and yes, it was a giant advertisement, and I'm looking forward to what's coming.
Here's another fucking.
It's really-
Not that anybody wants to hear another piece of annoyance from me, but another piece of annoyance from me is that the Age of Ultron. I don't know when that came out. A year, 2, 3, 4 ago. From Ryan Higgins wouldn't shut the fuck up about how it was like half a comic book and then half like advertisements for the next books coming out over the next year. This is the exact same thing, but Ryan Higgins will not talk about.
No, but we know that this is an advertisement for what's going on.
Oh my
This
God.
is a one-shot deal that
Let
you
me
go
ask
into.
Ryan
You go
Higgins
into
Beta
this.
to develop more of
Well,
what he was.
you go in. You go from
ahead.
DC Universe
Please
Rebirth
Continue. I wasn't done. Go ahead.
into all of the individual rebirths for the individual characters.
Yeah, that's different than what I was saying. Thank you.
Well, everything's a rebirth.
But yours was you were talking about something that was taking place over multiple issues, and this is only one.
Now, the last issue of Age of Ultron has like a bunch of single page or whatever it was.
Wait, are we not talking about the movie Age of Ultron?
No, the comic book.
That's a comic.
There's a comic book called Age of Ultron.
Absolutely.
That's apparently hilarious. So there was actually a comic book called Age of Ultron before the movie.
Oh wait, we're not. Oh, I thought this whole time you were talking about the movie.
Sorry.
No.
There wasn't some
There was-
tie-in comic
there
or
was-
something.
No,
No,
it's
this
nothing
was
to
way-
do.
this is
It's
way
nothing.
back.
Only a name. Only
Way
a name.
back.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say way back because it was a while back, but it
It was
wasn't
like a year or two before actually Age of Ultron, or the movie.
It wasn't.
Oh,
it was a
okay.
while before.
I'm
but
thinking Age of Apocalypse. I'm sorry.
No.
if we had a Marvel Studios Age of Apocalypse, that's the fucking dream.
that would
but,
be cool.
Um,
Dark Phoenix Saga. Oh,
yeah, don't get me started.
think about that.
Yeah, that's literally the dream.
It
So,
literally. it is a dream. It is not real.
So
We will never get it. Disney could not pay enough money right now to get it.
Oh
Unfortunately,
no, they're very broke.
well broke, and Fox is like fucking riding the money train.
Disney.
They can't do a bad movie. They put it like a sexy title on their new movie. Anyway, Marvel's better than DC. That's the end of the story.
Do you guys think that we're gonna get a Dazzler cameo? I want Dazzler.
Well, she's going to be a cameo on an album cover.
Yeah,
I like how
you saw
this
that.
DC Rebirth podcast has switched to.
She's going to at least have a
Marvel.
cameo on an album cover.
Has it only been an hour and a half for DC? Oh,
Guys,
I'm sorry, Brock.
I don't care about any of this. Tell me about the album cover.
So there's a picture
this is
that
awesome.
showed up online. It's Scott Summers and
Jean
one of the
Grey.
girls, Jean Grey, in a record store.
That girl that
Vinyl.
he sometimes hangs out with.
Yeah. It sounds a Stark.
And they're in a record
They hang
store?
out in a record store, vinyl store, and Scott holds up Dazzler's album.
He says, "How about this record?"
Do you actually see
and he
Dazzler?
holds up
And you
a
see
Dazzler
Dazzler
record.
album.
Which
Yeah.
You haven't seen
Which
this? This is
costume?
awesome. I hate spoilers.
Which costume? I didn't see it.
It's
Whoa!
artsy. Yeah.
Oh my god, I want a Dazzler movie. I'm totally serious about that too. Dazzler's the best X-Men character.
The name of the album, also, which is even better, is that the album name
Dazzler,
is
Dazzler
this
Rebirth.
This is better than anything DC will ever publish, movie-wise.
Dazzler dazzles.
That's also what it's called. Yeah.
Okay, back to Rebirth.
Yeah.
Oh,
DC,
yeah.
We
sorry,
haven't talked about it
DC
enough.
Rebirth.
Let's go back
DC
to
Rebirth.
Dazzler Rebirth. Jim, thank you.
So, yep, that's a book.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Wait, no, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Shh.
Ryan Scott has a pot.
Silence. That moment of silence.
Oh,
okay. That's all. I
He suckered us in. All
I
right.
needed that.
Well, I already knew.
You're
it
an
was
hour
bad.
turf.
Let's
Welcome to the comic conspiracy, Ryan Scott.
let's stop recording now.
Yeah, I gotta go to soccer.
Oh boy, yeah, 9:15. Gotta go to soccer. It's a good time. To start a game. So
Sarcasm.
thanks for listening to the Comic Conspiracy. I hope that you liked this episode. Is this about how it always is?
Yep, you're doing great. You're doing great. Keep going.
You have to thank all the pants.
Yeah, but
Or
no,
the
I mean,
no
is this
pants.
how it always is with you guys every week? Is this how it'll go?
yeah.
Welcome to the
yeah.
comic
All right, so
conspiracy.
you know what you're into. You guys are crazy.
This is actually more civil than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
It's
so
definitely more civil. We haven't name called each other yet. I haven't.
Crosstalk was actually
nobody's read at this
low
point.
too, so that's good.
I like how you said that as soon as
Yeah,
you started
crosstalk. That's the best
cross-talking.
thing ever. Yeah.
That was good of you
All right.
guys.
I haven't
Yeah.
started laughing where I can't stop yet.
Okay.
Okay,
That was good though.
We do want to thank our Patreon listeners for listening.
No
Yeah.
pants.
We don't have our list up because
Nope. Because we don't.
because Ryan Higgins didn't give the substitute host
Yeah, I'm the.
any of the outro information.
He might. I don't know. I'm your substitute teacher, so I don't know how we do things.
No, we
Everybody gets an A.
we
All right.
we thank Albert Soy.
Yes,
We
Albert
thank-
Soy, we thank Albert.
We thank the no pants.
there's something about
nerds
plant
with no
everywhere.
pants.
Yeah.
Recess early.
How about the nerding guy on YouTube? I'm doing this by memory.
Plants
I'm
with no
sorry.
pants.
Well,
This
there's
is-
Julian Titus, which
Julian Titus is the nerds with no pants guy.
This
Okay.
is a disaster.
Yeah.
All right, look. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You can support the podcast at www.patreon.com/comicconspiracy, where you can back us for
for
some
as little
money
as $1 a month.
and get some cool stuff, and we'll thank you when the real host, who knows how things are done here, does things.
He'll
But
do it in French.
in any case,
C'est vrai.
Yeah.
everyone here appreciates your support. You should also go to the store's website, where it's
Comicsconspiracy.biz
comicsconspiracy.biz. That's the store. That,
And the digital website.
and the
Yeah.
digital website, which is comicsconspiracy/retail. Just go to
Yep.
comicsconspiracy.biz and click on
Yeah.
digital comics.
and you could buy some comics, do
Or
whatever. You know,
digitalcomics.com
you could
conspiracy.
buy a digital copy of Rebirth, I assume, because it's 2016.
Which is most likely how Ryan Higgins is going to read
and
it.
then complain about it on the internet.
I'm not going to complain.
If you want, you can go to www.geekbox.net, where this is hosted, and go on the forums and complain about it. It's great. And speaking of which, you should also listen to all of our other podcasts, The Geek Box, The Comedy Button, and Good Job Brain, where we talk about video games and stupidity and smart stuff. So we run the whole gamut.
We're all on Twitter.
Yeah, we're all on Twitter. I'm at Rydog. Brock is at... what are you at? I don't know. Huh?
Brock Sager.
Toby is at TobyXI.
Yeah, good job.
Good
Okay.
job.
Bryce is at...
There's no way you'll get it. So I'll just say that Bryce.
No, let
is
him try.
at-
Let me try.
Oh, I don't know.
Bryce is that I have tentacles.
No,
No.
that's April.
Oh, was that not me?
That's my wife.
Wow, that's awkward. Oh, wow.
Bryce
Okay.
Larsen is.
Bryce Larsen?
Larsen Bryce.
Larsen Bryce.
There you go.
So
Spoiler alert.
if you look closely at your MP3 player, Toby's trying to do all these hand signals to try to tell me what it is.
I was
Jim-
trying to
Those were
reverse
pretty good.
it.
Those were pretty good.
Like, reverse the fucking names.
Jim.
Jim is at LD Exterminator.
Okay.
Or Sugar Man.
Higgins.
Or
Is
Sugar Man.
at, Higgins is at Ryan Higgins Ryan, and then Charlie West, who's also
Charlie
not
is
here,
it I have tentacles.
no,
he's Insanity in Chaos.
I got that wrong too.
Insanity
Okay.
in Chaos.
I'll get it right.
And me, if you want to tell me what a great job I did, which I might have said, I'm at Ride Dog.
You just said
You
it.
did.
I'm
just
saying
said
it again because I'm the host, all right? And I don't know if
So that means we
Higgins...
go all around again?
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
If Higgins has a Facebook page for the store, I don't know.
We have there's the store. You can follow the store on Twitter. It's at Comics Con Store.
Yeah.
And then
Comic Conspiracy.
Yeah.
You can also follow. You can like us at Facebook.com.
Well, there's a Facebook group.
Rock
which is
has a little YouTube thing that he likes.
Yeah, I'm on
Slash
the YouTube channel.
the Geek
Comics
Box.
Conspiracy or conspiratorbrock.com. But there's the Comic Conspiracy and Geek Box group on Facebook.
Yep.
You can go join that.
Like us there. And this is the worst outro I've
It's
ever
awesome.
done. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening.
We're going to stay open till midnight?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
They're already know.
yeah.
Oh,
this
it's already over by the time they listen to it.
We were open at
Right.
midnight. We were giving the book away for free. If you
Ah.
lived around here,
That was
cool.
a good time.
If not,
It was
oh
a
well.
good time.
Yeah, all right. And that's it. And your regular host, I
Hopefully
believe, will
we'll
be
be
back.
back
We're
next
crossing our fingers that he's not
Oh,
going to
he
be
has
jet lagged or
to.
tired.
For all the times he's made me come on after Comic Con with
That's
like
a
3
euphemism.
hours of sleep for like 5 days, he's
Oh.
going to have to come on this podcast after front.
Also euphemism.
Oh, all right. Good talk.